I want you to picture this. You're trying to respond to emails, remember a deadline, process a hard conversation, plan your week ahead, manage your kids, think about your finances, and also regulate your own emotions all at once. And then someone says, just prioritize, just multitask, or just handle it. But here's the truth. You can only handle one thing at a time, not because you're incapable, but because your attention and your emotional bandwidth are limited in their resources. Today, we're going to talk about why ADHD attention is not the same as our capacity, why emotions consume our cognitive bandwidth, and why just juggle it all advice causes us to shut down, and how to plan based on what you're carrying, not just what you're doing. Let's get into this together. Welcome to Mindful Chatting, a podcast where therapy meets real life. I'm Kristen, a therapist, business owner, and a lifelong student of what it means to fully show up in our relationships, in our work, and in our healing. Here, we unpack mental health concepts, explore mindfulness tools, and talk through the messy, beautiful, in-between moments that shape us. Whether you're a fellow clinician, a curious listener, or someone navigating your own growth, this space is for you. Let's chat. People think that ADHD is really just about distraction, but it's actually about a regulation of our attention. Attention is like a spotlight, but capacity is like the size of the stage. And you can focus intensely, and you can even hyperfocus, and you can dive deep. But if the emotional load is high for you, your stage is going to shrink. And when the stage shrinks, even simple tasks or tedious things that should be considered easy actually feel really overwhelming. And that's not laziness, that's our bandwidth depletion. So let's talk neuroscience for just a minute. When you're emotionally activated, your amygdala, which is the part of your brain that talks about fight or flight, is engagement increases, our stress hormones will rise, and then that prefrontal cortex, which is the brain right here that handles all of our management system, that access, well, it decreases. And then the same part of your brain that plans, organizes, initiates, and prioritizes for you, well, that actually goes partially offline. So if you're hurt, anxious, angry, overstimulated, or just anticipating upcoming conflict, well, you're not just in your feelings, you're using your cognitive bandwidth. And most productivity advice ignores this whole concept. If you're nodding along and thinking, yep, this is totally me, I want you to stop and take a free quiz. I have made a quiz about what's your ADHD struggle, and it'll only take a couple of minutes. And at the end, there's a secret freebie waiting for you that will help you start working on your struggle right away. Look in the show notes for the link. So when someone just says to you, just handle it or just do it, what they're often ignoring is what are you already holding besides the thing that you're just supposed to do. So if you're holding resentment, sleep deprivation, decision fatigue, relational tension, financial stress, overstimulation, well, adding more doesn't create more growth for you. It actually creates more shutdown. And shutdown looks like procrastination, scrolling, zoning out, irritability, avoidance, or mental fog. That is not weakness. It is an overflow from your bandwidth. So this doesn't mean you only do one task per day. I wish it was like that, but it's not. It means you're emotionally and cognitively, your system prioritizes one dominant load at a time. Even if you're holding grief, everything else is going to be secondary. If you're holding relational rupture, well, that work is going to feel really heavy. And if you're holding anxiety, well, planning feels really distorted for you. Planning without acknowledging load is really just a fantasy, and planning with load in acknowledgement is actually real intelligence. If you want to understand your ADHD in a deeper way, I've created the ADHD Crash Course, and it walks you through ADHD step by step so that you can actually start understanding your brain and not shaming it. Everything's in small, doable lessons designed for your ADHD in mind. The link is in the show notes. So, what I want you to do is, instead of asking yourself, what do I need to get done? I want you to try asking, what am I already carrying into this? Because the weight changes the plan of how you're going to prioritize. So, for example, if you're carrying emotional conflict, I want you to reduce the cognitive demands of you. If you have sleep deprivation, I want you to simplify the decisions that you have. If you have overstimulation, I want you to reduce the input that's coming in. If you have anxiety, I want you to create a structured plan that includes very small starts. If you have relational hurt, I want you to prioritize your regulation before your productivity. This is what capacity awareness planning actually looks like. And it's not about doing less forever. It's about aligning your effort with right now with your bandwidth. So, there have been days where I thought I was failing at productivity. I'm sure you felt that too. But when I looked really closer, I wasn't being lazy. I was holding too much. And once I acknowledged that, I stopped asking, why can't I handle more? I started asking, what needs to come down? And that shift really changed everything for me. If you're listening to this and thinking, this is exactly what I struggle with, I want you to know that I built something specifically for you. The EF, or Executive Functioning Activation course, walks you through why task initiation feels so hard with your ADHD and how to actually get yourself moving without shame, pressure, or burnout. It's short, practical, and designed for ADHD brains, not productivity culture. If starting is your biggest barrier, this course gives you structure, language, and tools that actually work for you. You'll find the link in the show notes. Remember, you cannot prioritize effectively if you don't first assess your own bandwidth. Attention without bandwidth awareness leads to collapse. And capacity awareness planning, well, that leads to sustainability. And really, sustainability is the goal. If you've been feeling like you should be able to juggle more, I want you to pause. Ask yourself, what am I already holding? You can only hold one thing at a time, not because you're weak, but because you're human. And as always, thank you for joining me in this mindful chatting episode. I'll see you in our upcoming episodes where we focus on the next executive functioning domain, which is focus. Until then, be gentle with your mind.